All right, new Gateway FX just picked up off of eBay. Old one that I've still got updating. That's my flagship one. This one is a 7809U FX. It's a 7809U. This is the model with a 1 gigabyte 9800 GTS, but unfortunately a 1440 by 900 screen. So that one back there has a 1920 by 1200. This one 1440 by 900. And it's funny, I've actually got another one off to the side here that has a 512 meg version of the 9800 GTS. But it's got the 1920 by 1200 screen. So we may be doing a screen swap at some point to take full advantage of what we can, but we'll see. For right now, we'll keep everything stock. So this device has a P8700 Core 2 Duo. It came stock with 4 gigabytes of DDR2 RAM. I believe DDR2. Double check. Yes, I believe so. This one looks like it has been modified because this says, oh, nope, DDR3. So DDR3 10600. But it says replaced with HP spare, so somebody has swapped this in at some point. I've already gone ahead and taken off the heatsink. This machine is completely disgusting. So you might be able to see through there. I have not used my handy dandy electric canned or compressed air, but I'm going to at some point here soon. The thermal pad for the Geforce 9800 is just fine. However, the thermal paste for the CPU definitely needs to be replaced. So what we'll do is, I'm just going to go ahead and show the inside of this here real quick. So you can definitely see fan is disgusting, and this fan is completely blocked. You can definitely see the crust and crud just living in there, unfortunately. So today's video is going to be us disassembling the Gateway FX, as well as cleaning it, reassembling it, installing 2 new SSDs, installing Windows 7 Home Premium on the device, and getting it up to date, just like this one back here is currently doing. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's see here, double check. So removing the heatsink and fan assembly, very easy, 5 screws, no big deal. Removing the rest of the case is where it's going to get a little bit tricky. So let's take a look here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Looks like no screws up there. 6, 7, 8, 9, probably 10 total screws. So let's just double check and we will start this process. All right, so yeah, let's go ahead and get started. I've got a little tray here for my additional parts. We'll start with the screws to get the panel off. We'll just move those in there. There was a small panel protecting the memory, which is also still pretty dirty, needs to be cleaned before put back together. Not an issue, we'll take care of that. So let's go ahead and start, and we will develop our little grid system here so we don't lose track of actually where the screws are. So we're just going to go bam, and bam, and bam, and bam. And let's go ahead and get started. This machine is absolutely disgusting. I can see the coating inside that fan of additional dust. So yeah, getting this case completely broken down, it's going to be really integral to actually being able to clean it effectively. So let's go ahead and just keep that rolling. Come on. All right, we'll come back for that screw in a moment. These should all be the same size at this point. At least on this generation or this year of device, they were pretty consistent with the screw sizes, which was kind of nice. There we go. Yep, so far so good. All right, looks like we got one here in the hard drive tray, so let's go ahead and grab that. And let's make sure. Yep, that's still the same. Okay, let's keep this rolling. There it is. Set that down. So the hard drives are already out, but the optical drive will have to come out. There's a hidden screw underneath this that's holding it in place. So here in a second, we'll grab our spudger or pry tool and actually get that thing out of there. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. So we'll just grab this little pry tool. And thankfully, that's just a little rubber piece. So we'll set that off to the side. We're going to need that pry tool here shortly. Let's go ahead and grab the optical drive. The optical drive is a different size. So let's see. I think it's just that one screw. Yep, that was it. All right. There we go. Optical drive comes out. We'll go ahead and set this off to the side just by itself with its screw to make sure that we don't lose track of it. All right, getting back to the rest of the screws here. All right, so that's above the optical drive. Okay. This one is just to the left of that one. You can already see how dusty the hands are getting because of this process. We'll grab this last one up here. Oof, goodness. All right, so usually on this model, there's usually two screws, one here and one here. And of course I dropped my screwdriver. Oh well. There's usually two screws here and here that help hold the plate, the panel, like the touch bar in place on the other side. But on this side, it looks like maybe some work's already been done to this device. So let's just double check. Looks like we're okay. We got all the screws out. Yep, make sure. All right, so now we'll go ahead and flip it over. And I believe we should be able to just lean this screen back and start working on getting this plate up and off. So we will go ahead and grab a couple small pry tools here and see what we can figure out. So let's take a look here. Start with one of these and just see if it wants to pop up. Nice and easy. Look at that. Beautiful. All right. On this side, we have, it looks like one ribbon cable here that needs to be disconnected from the main board. So we'll go ahead and do that here in just a moment. Let's go ahead and grab a little tool to make popping this out a little bit easier. So, yep, those two little black clips, and then that comes right off. Easy peasy. So now we can go ahead and clean this. We'll move this off to the side. Actually, let me move it off to the side here. Make sure it's out of the way. All right, let's take a look. Looks like we've got 1, 2, 3 screws holding in the keyboards. Let's go ahead and pull those out. So we got 1 and 2. Come on. There we go. Interesting. All right. So slightly different sizes there. So let's go ahead and set that off to the side and make sure we keep the orientation appropriate. And a 3. So yep, another small one. So we'll just keep that off to the side, make sure they stay where they can be easily identified. All right, we'll pull this keyboard out. Be nice and gentle when you pull the keyboard out. You've got another ribbon cable here that needs to be removed. This one is easier than the other. You just flip up the little black tab here, and the keyboard just pops right off. No problems. Again, we'll set this off to the side. We'll clean that a little more in depth a little later. But now we have the main cover exposed. I believe we should probably take the monitor off first. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we've got. Got the Wi-Fi card, which goes to the other side. So what we'll do, let's go ahead and flip it back over for a moment. We'll come back here. Wi-Fi card, looks like the wires are routed through the main board. So let's go ahead and just disconnect this. And disconnect the black and the white. Looks like the white is on the left side, the black is on the right side. So we'll do that. Just a little Intel Wi-Fi card, easy peasy. We'll set that off to the side. We'll keep the screw for it with it. And now, when we flip this back over, we should be able to just pull these wires straight through. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. Ooh, goodness. This top panel is already coming off without me having to do anything. So maybe we don't have to take the Wi-Fi out or the monitor off. That would actually be lovely. Make sure that that's still updating. So it looks like we got a couple. So this is, you can see it's already coming off. So what we'll do is let's just go ahead and try this. I think, oh, it's coming off because it's broken over on this side. That's why. So right here, so yeah, the monitor does have to come off in order for us to clean this properly. So that's fine. Don't know why that's broken, but this is a 15-year-old laptop, so it's definitely got some brittle plastic. Let's go ahead and let's angle that a little bit. There we go. There's one. Let's go ahead and get the black one here as well. There we go. Just navigate that through. Boom, got that. Okay, easy enough. That's good. All right, so for the monitor, we should just be able to remove with a little spudger. There we go. Remove this. Now, what is this black cable going to? That's the question. Let's flip this back over and take a quick look. That black cable looks like is for, well, can't see from this side. So there's a small black cable that looks like it's routed somewhere else. That's fine. We'll just ignore that for right now because it goes from one side to the other. It doesn't look like it interacts with the monitor at all. So let's go ahead and just keep this rolling. So I believe it's just sticky taped to the monitor cable. Yeah, so that's what's up. So let's go ahead and disconnect the monitor. There we go. And just get that routing out there. Boom, done. All right, and it looks like at this point we are ready to take the monitor off. We just have 2 hinge screws here. So let's go ahead and release some tension by putting something underneath to help roll it back. Okay. Yep. Just need a little tension there. There we go. All right. So let's take the monitor screw off here. Looks like about the same size as the rest, which is good. And we'll do the same over here. And yep, left and right. Let's see, does that just lift out? It does. Awesome. All right. So we got at least one. There it is. And there we go. All right. This will actually make it easier later on if I want to go ahead and swap the monitor or the screen itself for the one with the higher resolution to get myself another 1920 by 1200 screen with the with the 1 gigabyte 9800 GTS. But for now, let's go ahead and get back to disassembly. So, as we can see there, it looks like we got one screw here. This has probably been worked on a couple of times because there's some missing screws. But that's what happens when you buy something from eBay for 25 bucks. Or 50 bucks, depending upon if you want to count shipping or not. Let's see, does that? Yep, that one loosened. Let's grab this one. There we go. All right. We'll keep that off to the side. Let's see. Is that all of them? Oh, we got one more underneath. So that's why this snapped, because there's a screw underneath the hinges that needs to be loosened and removed. And it wasn't done last time it was worked on over on this side. So let's go ahead and pull that out. Let's take a look. Those are all, again, the same size screws, so that's awesome. All right, let's see. Does it, oh, I take it back. Oh God, that is disgusting. Holy crap. I should be wearing gloves. Looks like we've got one screw here, because this is an entire unit up top, it looks like. So let's go ahead and take a look. We'll remove from here. There we go. So like that. That one is missing. Remove the middle one. Middle one is tiny. Okay, that's fine. So we got another one here. And we're going to try and keep this frame in as good a shape as we can, even though obviously it's already in bad shape. But we'll remove this screw as well and just make it as clean as possible. So let's take a look here. Boom and boom. We've got our breakdown. All right, let's take a moment here. Now we should, in theory, be able to just lift up this entire assembly. There it is. All right. So yeah, this has definitely been worked on before. All right, we've got another ribbon cable down here that we need to detach before we can remove this. So let's go ahead and do that. This is just one of those rocker cables, or excuse me, rocker ribbon cables, where you just need to move the little black clip up and down to get it to loosen. All right. Let's go ahead and take a look there. Obviously, you can see somebody busted it. It's all dirty and gummed up. We definitely need to clean this. We're going to set this off to the side. All right. Goodness gracious. And we are into the fan assemblies finally. All right. So we've got one more screw to get rid of this speaker. And then we can access both of the fans pretty cleanly. Looks like that other black cable was probably this modem that came through the other side. Let's see. Yep, modem. Hey, look. There's a clip of some sort that fell off. That's definitely bodes well, right? Where was that clip from, I wonder? Little white clip. Whew, that is disconcerting. All right. Well, regardless, let's go ahead and continue with the disassembly so that we can get to the fans, the heat sinks, get those all cleaned up. So we're going to go ahead and remove this speaker. Yep. Yeah, God, that's going to kill me. What is that from? That is from something important. Darn it. All right. I'm just going to undo the routing here. We're not even going to completely undo the routing because I don't believe those are... Oh, yeah, those are able to be undone. Okay. No worries. Let's just get rid of the speakers while we're here. There we go. There we go. Okay. And we'll undo the routing. Come over here. We'll grab the other speaker. Get rid of it as well. Looks like we got 2 screws for that one. Yep. Same size screws, so that's good. Beautiful. So we've got all 3 of our speaker screws and our speakers. We'll just set those off to the side. And now we finally have access to the fans. So let's take a look at these. Doesn't seem that bad at first, but then you look at it from the other angle and you realize just how bad it actually is. Same with the other fan here. Just seeing inside is just, oh god. The heatsink itself is completely coated. So yeah, let's go ahead and try to remove the fan. I don't think we need to flip it over and remove the heatsink for the north bridge, or whatever heatsink assembly that is. I'm assuming north bridge because it's on the opposite side over here, and obviously we have our CPU and GPU here. So we're just going to try and remove the fans, clean the fans themselves, and call it good. So let's take a look at what we got, what we're working with here. Oh, easy. All right. Yep. There you go. And now you can see just how coated and disgusting it actually is in there. So we're going to clean that out. The other fan, let's see, is it mounted with anything? It doesn't look like the fan is mounted. Oh, it's got one screw, it looks like. So that should be easy enough. Let's go ahead and take that out. See, does that loosen it? Oh, nope, it's got 2 screws, excuse me. All right, 2 screws. And the cable itself is just guided underneath the main board. So we're just going to unplug that. Let's go ahead and set these screws off to the side. I don't want to lose those during the cleaning process. So we'll set those there. Actually, let's set them right there. Okay. And then, yeah, we're not going to bother taking it apart any further. At this point, we should have enough flexibility to go ahead and clean all the dust and grime out of this and start putting it back together, and hopefully it still functions. Again, with whatever clip this was that fell off all of a sudden. Oh god. Fucking gooch. Okay. Goodness gracious, it's everywhere. Just years. That's disgusting. Alright, let's throw that out there. Good lord. And we'll be back after I go ahead and use my trusty compressed air. I'm just tired of buying actual cans of compressed air. This gets really loud, so I'm not going to do that on camera. And through the power of magic, the fans are now cleaner than they were. So, bam. Not perfect, but can only do so much with a toothbrush and some canned air. The other problem is the plastic is so brittle that one of the standoffs busted right there. So I've gone ahead and moved it back into position. There's definitely some rust here, but cleanup so far seems to be pretty well done on the system itself. So let's go ahead and just move it back into position, and let's see if I can not screw up putting this thing back together. All right. So let's start with the fan assemblies. And yep, looks like that one. Nope. Is it this one? Yes, there we go. All right. So we'll readjust that. And then this guy looks to go just about like that. Perfect. All right. So let's go ahead and get those adjusted. Get the proper alignment set up. Get that plugged back in. Okay. Good there. So that's in good shape, or as good of shape as it's going to get given the situation. Let's see, those were, was it 3 screws for that, I believe? Let's double check here. Double check my orientation. Yes. Yep. The way it's oriented, that makes sense. So we're going to tuck this in here with it and mount it like so, and hook that back up. There we go. All right. And if memory serves, we have screws for this. I'll have to double check the video, but I'm 90% sure we did. Yep. Did we only have one screw for that? We must have. We must have only had one screw for that fan, two for this one. So I believe these are those. So let's go ahead and get this sorted. Yep. Okay. And yep. All right. So that's good. This one, indeed, it only had the one screw. Yeah. Yeah, well, technically it had two, but as you can see, the plastic is so brittle, it just popped right off without any issue whatsoever. So we're going to put that back into position as best we can. Kind of guide this wire a little bit. There we go. And get this other screw in. Hopefully not snapping off that plastic as we do it. All right, so, yep, updates are still going on that, which is fine. So now at this point, if memory serves, we are ready to reattach the faceplate, but I've got to clean that too, so I'll be right back. All right, so in the efforts to make this a decent repair, what I'm going to do is going to go ahead and use some Gorilla Glue and just try and piece that back together. So this is going to turn into a two-part video. I'm going to do the Gorilla Glue and finish the cleaning on this. And then in the near future, I will go ahead and make the full reassembly video, followed by the upgrades as well as the operating system install, benchmarking, that sort of thing. But for now, that's going to do it.